All right, YouTubers, this is the Angry Prepper. So today's episode is, can the government protect us and supply us during a disaster? Now, I know a lot of you right now screaming at the computer screen, no way the government can protect us and they can't help us with supplies. That is a question that most of us seasoned preppers, if you will, I hate to put it that way, know the answer to. But for a lot of beginners and new people out there who are just getting into this, the answer is no. There's no way on God's green earth the government could help us during an actual disaster. Now, localized disasters, hurricanes, earthquakes, tornadoes, yes, the government has the money and the power to help localized events. World Trade Center, localized events, they have the money to help. Yes, it's expensive, it's a pretty penny, but nonetheless, that help is there. Now, open it up to America. Now you're talking a bigger field, and there's no way on God's green earth the government is going to be able to help us. They can't. They'll sit there on TV and be like, we got you all covered, we got your back, we'll do this for you and that. They're lying, right? So a lot of the politicians, when it comes to that, are actors. So it's implausible, and it's unrealistic, and it's impossible for the government to help us and supply us during a disaster. Now, some will say that they're hoarding food and they're stocking this away. Yeah, that's for the elite and the elite politicians, maybe even some of the rich, but definitely the politicians, right? They're covered. We're not. This is why we prep. This is why we get our shit together, so that we don't have to rely on the government, so we don't have to stand on a line with 2,000 other people, to get the same bit of food or water, and then midway they run out. Now you're standing on a line that was a peaceful line that turned into a fucking riot in a heartbeat. So, do yourself a favor and prep. Do not rely on the government, because they cannot help us. I'm not going to sit there and say the government's bad and all this other bullshit. That's not this video. This video is just saying the government can't help us. Sort of a case in point, the Great Depression, 1929. There were 121 million citizens in the United States. And back then, the government was barely able to help people during the Depression. Now we are at 328 million, almost double the capacity of people, or more than double the capacity of people, sorry. And there's no way they're going to be able to sustain 328 million people. The question is, what do we do? Like I said before, we prep. We continue to prepare. We make sure we're squared away. We make sure our family's squared away. If you have to secretly prep for your family and possible friends, if you like your friends that much, you prepare. You get as much as you can and you keep storing it away. That's what we do, and that's what we do to minimize putting ourselves in a shit predicament, meaning a food line or water line. Now, the movie Contagion with Matt Damon, there's a scene where he's online waiting for food with his daughter. I think he's with his daughter. But anyway, he's waiting online. And the shit goes sideways because they run out of MREs to give. And everybody's like, but you got more. And then they attack the truck. So that line, waiting for food, which is peaceful, turned into a shit show in a hurry. So you don't want to be on a shit show line or potential shit show line. You want to be squared away, prepped, and in your home, safe as possible. You want to minimize your time outside. That's why we prepare, so we don't end up in a shitty situation. So, historical lessons, the Great Depression. Then you have hurricanes Irene, Katrina, and Sandy. Those three hurricanes taught us a lot because they're more recent. And we've watched, for example, I think it was Hurricane Sandy, there was a water line in Brooklyn, and there was a giant miscommunication, and the truck that was supposed to hand out the bottles of water wasn't at the location they said they were going to be. They were in another location. So people waited online. It looked like there might have been, 30, 40 people online waiting for this water. They were in the wrong location because the truck went to the wrong location. And they were sitting there on the news complaining, where's the truck? How come we're thirsty? This, and then you don't want to be that. You do not want to be that person in the news. You do not want to be that person caught with their pants down. You want to prepare. You want to make sure your kids are squared away, your baby if you have one. Do everything in your power to be prepared and stay prepared. That's it, guys. The government's not going to help us. Even if something as small as a hurricane, I still wouldn't trust the government. Now, if your neighborhood is as friendly as the one in the Rockaways that almost burned to the ground, Breezy Point. If your neighborhood is squared away as Breezy Point had a nice little system going. They had a community house that was filled with supplies. I walked in there and I was like, holy shit, these people are squared away. And they just had pretty much everything they needed. They had diapers, they had formula, they had water, soda for whatever reason. A lot of canned goods, a lot, right? They had some MRE boxes in the corner over there. So they were squared away, and that was the neighborhood. They squared their shit away. But if they were all prepared, they wouldn't have to do that. They wouldn't have to rely on donations and things like that. My point is, don't rely on donations. Don't trust the government. Don't rely on the government. Be your own hero. Save yourself and prep. All right, guys, so this is the Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching. You can like, subscribe to this channel. You can also follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr, and Twitter. And also, you can follow me on podcast again. I am picking it up. I did an update I did an update podcast. So the podcast channel is starting to flow again. All right, guys, thank you for watching.